This being the first video on my page is so negative, and I promise you that is not the type of person I am when it comes to football content. But as you can see here, reported by Fabrizio Romano, Eberechi Eze is keen on a move to Tottenham. I'm so sorry that the tone of this video upcoming is going to be a negative one. But let me introduce myself. My name's Aiden. Some of you may know me from playing FIFA a lot of the time, but I'm trying to expand my horizons and start talking about football. I do support Arsenal Football Club. I do have some outrageous takes sometimes, but I'm not on a deluded level. You may get one or two outrageous takes from me a season. I am not deluded or shameless, trust me. I may have my agendas and poke fun at Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea whenever I can, but at the end of the day, when it does come to honest analysis about any club, I am always honest. And that is one thing that you're going to get from me is honesty. I thought that I would make that important as it is my first video on my page and I am introducing myself here. And I just want to say to all football fans, whether you support Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, or a team out the country or a team in the 5th division or even further, welcome. My channel's not only going to be about Arsenal, but discussing big football topics in general, predictions, the whole lot. So please stay and enjoy. As you will hear a lot of honest football takes for whatever club you support from me. It won't be biased. It won't be holistic. Trust me, I'm here for honest analysis. Anyway, let's talk about the main topic of the video. Eberechi Eze keen on a move to Tottenham Hotspur. At the age of 27, he understandably wants to play Champions League football. I don't think he would have a desire to join Tottenham without Champions League football. That is unfortunately the selling point for a lot of players, and especially given at his age, he may feel this is his last good chance to get to a Champions League club. And given the season that he had with Palace, not only as an individual, but as a team and a collective unit, delivering them 2 trophies, he may feel that he has done all he can for Palace to build up his hype at that age. Because what you're looking at now, especially with the way the transfer window's been going, is you have a lot of players that are getting bought at maximum from the playmaker area, 25, 26 years old. So they have that long period where their peak years will be at a big club. Think about Matheus Cunha. Brian Mbeumo is going to be stepping into his prime, just to name 2 from Manchester United. Of course, Chelsea have Cole Palmer already, but they have been looking at Xavi Simons. Again, so players of that ilk in that age range, especially in the playmaker department, are getting snatched up. And right now, compared to the rest of the personnel that has been sold, Eze is looking like an unk or reaching unk status at the age of 27. Now, age in football is a very funny thing, but we're not talking about on the pitch because there are still 36, 37-year-olds that ball out, 40-year-olds that ball out. But in terms of the transfer market, age is very key for a lot of where the scouting goes, or should I say, the job for the technical director goes, because we all know Eze is a brilliant player. We all know Xavi Simons has heaps of potential. We all know that Cunha is an amazing player and maybe has an extra notch to go up and could still go up. For me, it feels like from Eze's perspective, and especially from his agent's perspective, he's going to try and get Eze a move regardless of where it is, as long as they are playing Champions League football. That is his main desire. He feels like he has earned the right to play in the Champions League for the first time, I believe. And it is the desire of many footballers to end up playing in the Champions League. And he deserves to be a Champions League player. He is a Champions League caliber player. So whether it's Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, or Manchester City or Liverpool, he's going to get that move. After all the work that he's put in, this is the move. It has to happen this window, because what's going to happen next summer is more players are going to be on the horizon and Eze's value is going to drop in the eyes of many big clubs playing in the Champions League. He wants his move now. He has made that clear. Arsenal cannot afford to do a thing where they try and get him in the closing days of the window. By then, he will already be gone. He'll want to be integrated into the squad. He'll want to be familiarized with the players around him. He'll want to understand the type of football that they play for himself, with the training and how they play in training. Seeing it is one thing, experiencing it as a player is another. He will want to fully integrate himself, at least when there's only about 2 or 3 games played into the season, because that's when I believe he will get his move. Maybe after 1 or 2 games have been played in the Premier League. So in the next 2 weeks, he will be at another club. Tottenham's situation for him is absolutely perfect. Whilst Arsenal have a situation where many people have debated where he's going to play. Left wing, 8, 10. What formation we're going to have to run? Is he going to be an option off the bench? Maddison's just had an ACL injury. That leaves the pathway clear and open for Eze to be like, you know what? Maybe I did my thing at Arsenal. Maybe this unfinished business needs to remain undone. It doesn't need to be complete. And maybe I need to go somewhere where I know I'm going to be a guaranteed starter week in, week out and play as much football as I can. And with James Maddison's injury, that is perfect. That is the perfect situation for Eze right now. And his agent will be saying that to him too. So whether or not he wants to join Arsenal and go back for unfinished business because he was part of our academy and he was eventually turned away, that's neither here or there. He's a grown man. He doesn't have the brain of most of these people that you see on football Twitter. And, I'll bring up a perfect instance of this. I remember when Arsenal was signing Declan Rice, I saw Chelsea fans saying, oh, how could he, this, that, and that. He's a grown man. The older you get, especially as a footballer, and how you see how football works, the less warped your mind is to that club that you so favoured or were a part of or you desired to be a massive part of the older you got. Because the more mature you get, you realise at the end of the day, whilst it is fun to play for the club that you love, or it is a dream for you as a youngster to play for the club you love, football is a business at the end of the day. The wheel is going to keep spinning with or without you. And I feel like people need to, as fans, we need to understand that a lot of the time. So although Eze's heart may bleed for Arsenal, he could still well go to Tottenham. It is what it is. Kulusevski, long-time Arsenal fan, plays for Tottenham. Zinchenko, lifelong Arsenal fan, ended up playing for Man City. This is how football works when you are a senior player. This is, we're not in La La Land. You're not a teenager that you just get to pick the club of your dreams. It's business. It's a reality. You have to acknowledge that as a football fan. People get too wound up in their perspective and don't ever consider the player's perspective. So, me personally, from an Arsenal fan standpoint, I think it's extremely embarrassing if we miss out on Eberechi Eze. Not because it's Tottenham. I could give a damn about that. But it's more so the fact that this deal has been strung out by Arsenal for so long, as usual. Oh, we have to get sales over the line. Sales. Why don't the owners grow some bollocks and let us make the purchase and then have the sales after? Those players will be sold. Timing is everything in the transfer window. Eze should be wrapped up by this week if we are serious, given the amount of time that we've been looking at him, mulling over, negotiating, interested in, preparing. Get it done. Why is it with this football club, there is always an urgency to get players over the line that don't seem to be the ones that the fans want and ones that don't seem to tactically make sense? Now, I'm not going to slate Noni Madueke. I'm not going to hate on the guy. He got a crap ton of hate already. And, people are going to blame him for why we didn't get Eberechi Eze. But what can he do? He probably didn't feel wanted at Chelsea. He probably thought to himself, you know what? Fresh start. I'm going to be around a different mentality of player. And this isn't a diss to Chelsea. It's just that in terms of maturity, I see Chelsea as a very young squad, whilst Arsenal have a very experienced, mature squad. And the youngsters that are around Arsenal seem to be quite level-headed. Again, that's no diss to Chelsea, where they've got 60 players training a day. A bit more of a controlled environment may have been what Madueke desired. So I'm not going to hate on him for that. And he may feel that Arsenal was good or would be good for his development. It is on the club and the owners to get things done, irrespective of the self-sustaining model. It is on the owners. You can't wait for sales to happen and then try and get a player of this ilk. You have to go after that player immediately. And again, it seems to me like the owners haven't learned. Manchester United are set to spend more than us after finishing 15th. We made more money than them competition-wise last season. I don't know about commercially because Manchester United is a massive club. And this whole self-sustaining model to me is rubbish because although our net spend is one of the highest in the league, it's the highest because we fail to sell. We can't sell players. We hold on to players too long. That is the Arsenal way. Martinelli has to go. I would keep Trossard. If you're not going to get rid of Martinelli, then sell Trossard and get him sold quick. The season is starting in a few days. We are now 3 days away from the Premier League season starting, and we haven't had any major sales. Manchester United's front line is set to potentially match Arsenal's front line with Champions League football. We're a club in the Champions League that still operates like we're a Europa League team in the transfer window. Every 2 or 3 summers, we'll have a blockbuster window. We'll bring in personnel that widens the eyes of the fans. The shirt sales will go up, they will skyrocket. We will do enough to guarantee top 4, but that is all it is. And I have a very growing fear that we are going into the season without any more attacking signings. And if Eze goes to Tottenham and Rodrigo goes to Manchester City, rivalries aside, the pride of the fans aside, from club to club, ignore the fans. If you allow this to happen and then you proceed to not bring in any attacking personnel of similar ilk, Simmons is right there. Because I tell you what, we're going to see Kroenke out protests if we don't sign at least one more attacking signing. Irrespective of how Madueke does this season, we still need at least one attacking signing. We will get top 4. We have prepared for top 4. Top 4 is not a trophy. Sorry, top 5. Top 5 is not a trophy in 2025. And if you consider that a trophy, sell the club and bring in owners that actually care about the progression of Arsenal Football Club. See, I'm getting into rant mode now. I started off the video all calm and, docile and relaxed. Guys, I swear down, don't piss me off because I'm trying to be a positive fan, but not toxic positivity. I'm trying to be a realist. I don't want to get to that stage of anger. And whilst we've been recording, I just have to check something. Yep, there it is. You see, if Tottenham land Savinho and Eze on Arsenal's head top, the Arsenal fans, me included, have to hold that. David Dean's son is Xavi Simons' agent. You best be belling him. Someone has to tell the Kroenkes this is not how to operate, man. You will get your sales, but incomings are more important for the current state of the club first. Anyway, that's all I have to say, people. We can't go into the season with 110. I'm sorry. Peace and prosperity, people.